Well, the Freedom from Religion Foundation is a Wisconsin-based gang of atheists and agnostics, very nasty people. They get triggered by the Holy Bible and Jesus Christ. They have earned a notorious reputation for bullying small towns and communities that believe we are still one nation under God. But it turns out the atheists picked the wrong man to bully in Oklahoma. State School Superintendent Ryan Walters has now filed a lawsuit against the out-of-town atheist, and he joins us live. So what was the final straw for you, Ryan?
Well, thank you for having me on, Todd, and thank you for being a champion for religious liberty and conservative values. And look, here was my last straw. They literally sent a threatening cease and desist letter to a small Oklahoma school because they do morning announcements, and a boy, one morning, child, decides to say a prayer on the announcements. His own fruition, his own freedom to express his religious beliefs. No one told him to. No one told him not to. He just did it. And now they're threatening the kid, the school, everyone involved, the teachers. I mean, it's just outrageous. And we have got to stand up to these radical atheists that continue to say there has to be state-sponsored atheism in our schools. The First Amendment doesn't apply in schools. Well, of course it does. There's no magical clause in the Constitution that says all of this is null and void inside a public school. So we're not going to tolerate that here in Oklahoma.
So Ryan, tell me about the lawsuit. Why exactly are you suing the Freedom from Religion Foundation?
So what they're doing is they're using these legal tactics to bully districts and claim to have jurisdiction where they have none. I mean, there's no reason. They have no standing. They have no legal ability to come in and dictate how students behave inside a classroom. They have no client. They have nothing. All they're trying to do is come in and threaten and continue to bog down districts with legal fees. So we said, listen, we're the ones who set all policies for our schools. We're the ones who set the protections here around the First Amendment in our schools, and we try to make sure that our schools uphold that. And so you got a problem, you can deal with us, but you're not going to come after every little small district in the state of Oklahoma and threaten their freedoms, threaten their rights, threaten the students that attend school there. And so we're telling them you're not going to go into our schools anymore. If you want to deal with somebody, you can deal with us.
You see, I love this approach here because, look, I get it. You know, it's America. If you want to be a godless heathen atheist, you can do that under the Constitution. But you don't have to be a jerk. And that's what these people are. They're being jerks to these small towns and communities and bullies.
And there's a reason why they go after these really small districts in really rural places. Because, again, these districts go, so now we're going to have to, bring an attorney on. Now we're going to have to take on legal fees. And that's exactly why they do that, because they are going to bully and intimidate them. And, again, we have stood for religious liberty of all of our students, all of our teachers here in Oklahoma. If they get a problem, they can take it up with us. But we are not going to allow them to bully and target children in our smallest rural districts in the state. Never again. Again, they got a problem with religious liberty. They got a problem with the U.S. Constitution. They can take it up with me, and we'll continue to defend the individuals in our state.
I'm curious, Ryan, and I'm just very impressed with how you're leading the education system there in Oklahoma. But why are you doing this? Because you're catching a lot of fire nationwide from these radical groups.
Oh, yes. They're definitely pretty angry with me on this. But Todd, we have got to start playing offense as conservatives. I mean, we have sat back and allowed the left to dictate education, indoctrinate our kids, control every aspect of the education system. The teachers' unions bully our teachers. The Federal Department of Education bullied our kids, our parents, our teachers. Thank God for President Donald Trump for getting rid of the Federal Department of Education. And now we've got these atheist legal fees that continue in lawfare against individuals, against citizens to try to bully and intimidate them. And we have got to take a stand and say, no, we are going to unapologetically respect the First Amendment in our schools. We're going to unapologetically bring the Bible back in its historical context. We're going to make sure that prayer is back in our schools as well. If people want to pray, they can pray. And so it's so essential that we get back to some of our foundational values in this country, and we've got to take on these woke radicals head on.
All right. Look, Ryan, we're going to let you go get them. And if you need any help, just give me a holler.
Absolutely. Thank you, Todd.